What's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
We get Nerdy Nightly.
And we thought we'd share it with you.
Happy Hump Day! That is right. Welcome back to a Wednesday edition, the 93rd edition of the Nightly Morning Show, here from the couch in our apartment. How are you doing this morning, Clarus Druckarus?
Doing all right.
It's, a lot of pink highlighter today.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if it's as noticeable in the camera, but like up close.
Yeah, I was feeling it, you
Yeah.
know. I don't think you guys can see it as well, but I'll probably take a few selfies. And by a few, I mean like 300.
Yeah.
It takes me a long time to take a good photo of myself. How are you doing?
Patrons have seen that before. If you join our Patreon, there is a video. I think it's available at the $1 tier. So you can pay $1 to watch Clarus take photos of herself in our kitchen for like 6 minutes, not knowing that the camera was running.
Yep. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good.
Yep. I wish that was not real. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm all right. Yeah. I'm ready for tonight. I'm gonna be playing Ultimate Werewolf over on twitch.tv/Azurbi's channel at 8 p.m. Eastern. I've played with them once before. It's really, really fun, and I'm excited for that. So if you guys want to come check out some improvised comedy from a bunch of hooligans, come over there at tonight at 8, and we're going to be having a good time. I'm a rocket ship on my way to Mars.
Okay.
Thank you for dropping the shout out for Azurabi. Wonderful being on this platform. I love what she's doing with her Twitch too. She has a day job. And so she uses her Twitch to raise money for the theater she works for, which I think is really commendable. And it's why like shows like this, they do a Tuesday night bar trivia night thing. And so those shows raise money for that theater and bring in actors from that theater. So I just really love what they're doing over there, and it's fun to be a part of it and feel like I'm, connected to the theatrical community.
Yeah.
In these times when the theatrical community has never felt more disconnected.
Yep, for sure. Especially, as we can't leave our apartment, so.
Yeah, and our lockdown might continue past next week, so that's great.
We're fine.
I'm okay. There was a news story about Broadway. It looks like Broadway might take another 6 or 7 months to come back. At the minimum. And I'm hoping I'll be able to get some of my friends who are in some of those shows to do some interviews and talk about what the process of bringing those back are. It's kind of a plan of mine to try and talk with them about the process of bringing back a show that has been on hiatus for as long as this. Because, they can't... You can't just step back on stage. All of their contracts... Technically, currently, every contract on Broadway is null and void.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting process for the big shows, the small shows, everything in between. It's going to be weird.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff to figure out. Obviously, nothing like this has ever happened before.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to take some time to figure out how to handle it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that they will. I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a bit slow and a little rocky at first, but we'll get there.
How is your Pokemon run going? I know you're continuing that today.
Yeah, it's going well. I've been playing Pokemon Emerald. We just got the Fortree Gym badge. And now we are trying to catch a Bananasaur, also known as Tropius. And it's not going well. I have not run into a single one. So we're gonna try to catch one of those today, and we're going to try to get the next gym badge. So I'll be streaming at 1 Eastern today.
Dope. Twitch.tv/ClarusJakaris.
Yeah.
Should we get into the news?
Let's do it.
All right, y'all. Barbara Muschietti, the producer of the new Flash movie that is coming out, as well as wife to Andy Muschietti, who's going to be directing the film, posted an interesting Instagram photo that laid out, that was the outside of a warehouse where they were filming something. Now, obviously, that something is the Flash. The movie that has been off-delayed has had more writers and directors than maybe any movie in history. This was the film that everyone said was never going to happen because the revolving door of people working on it just kept spinning.
Yeah.
But it looks like it is finally happening, and it is headed towards its release in 2022, where it will come out just after the DC Super Pets animated film, which I'm very excited for.
Oh my goodness.
Obviously, there's been a lot of news about the DCEU lately. We know the Suicide Squad is going to be coming later this year. People are very excited about it. It's got a great cast. What they showed at the fandom is really cool, and everyone's waiting for a trailer. The Snyder Cut is coming out in a month, and obviously everyone is hotly anticipating that and seeing how this version of The Flash is different in that movie versus Joss Whedon's version of that character.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to be said for the fact that it doesn't look like very much of the Joss Whedon Flash is going to be in this movie.
Yeah.
A lot of his scenes were reshot. So I wonder, how are you feeling now about Ezra Miller in the Flash? This is gonna be a difficult conversation, but we're gonna push through it.
You already know how I feel about Ezra Miller.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's problematic, and I think that the fact that he choked out an underage fan has just been glossed over, and it's uncomfortable, and no one's talking about it, and I don't want to see this movie. I don't. It's... His face is so off-putting to me now, which is... It's gonna make this tough. It's gonna make this tough, because I don't like supporting things that employ problematic people. And I am still waiting for a statement to be put out about this, but no one has said anything, and I think that's worse than anything else they could have actually said. So I am not really looking forward to this movie.
How does that affect... Because we've been talking about the Snyder Cut a lot, because it's coming and it's the news and whatnot. How is that affecting your... the way you look at the Snyder Cut? Well,
he isn't the main character in it, so it's...
That's true. He's the fifth... Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not as, prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
It also is it is... Here's the thing. When the Snyder Cut first came out, it was it's going to be his cut of the same movie. And now it's not the same movie. It's a 4-hour marathon.
Yeah.
And so, still kind of weird. Yeah. But yeah, because it doesn't focus on him, it's a little easier to disassociate. We don't support problematic people here, problematic creators. We have publicly said, we don't... Any new Harry Potter stuff, anything that directly supports J.K. Rowling, we will not be supporting financially. And The Flash is a weird thing that's kind of in this category, because if you've seen the video, it's very off-putting. Mm-hmm. And no one is talking about it, so...
Well, and it is interesting, right? Because Ezra Miller is kind of in everything right now. He was in the remake of The Stand that was just on HBO.
Yeah.
As the trash can man, in a performance that a lot of people had a problem with. That.
Okay.
I've not seen it, but apparently his take on mental illness in that was seen as problematic by a lot of people I've seen write about it across the internet, and across both political spectrums. More right-leaning journals had the same problem with it that left-leaning journals seem to have.
Interesting.
Even though people tend... what I've seen overall is that people like The Stand, but his Trash Can Man was kind of universally the thing people kind of went, maybe don't.
Right.
He's in the Fantastic Beasts.
Yep.
As
also problematic.
Dumbledore?
Question mark?
The Fantastic Beasts, arguably the most problematic franchise ever.
Yep.
And then he's also, he was just now speaking something else, Ezra Miller is getting cast left, right, and center.
Yeah, and I just don't understand it.
Well, and what's weird about this, particularly as it pertains to The Flash, is that Ray Fisher isn't going to be in this movie. Uh-huh. And Ray Fisher isn't going to be in this movie because he called out abuse. And so it's an interesting, Warner, it's interesting where are Warner Brothers' priorities in this.
Yeah.
They do not want to work with Ray Fisher because Ray Fisher pointed out that there was abuse going on, abuse that's been corroborated, and abuse that has been codified by people who have been working with the abuser, Joss Whedon, for over 2 decades of abuse, right? And then he loses his job, and Ezra Miller literally, like, assaults a child on video.
Yeah.
And doesn't even have to apologize. Like, has never made any public apology, never made any...
That's the biggest problem. If Ezra Miller had been like, look, there was a moment and it was an off day, or maybe
it was an off day would be the right...
No, but he was like, look, I am so sorry. This is not who I am. It's, if he owned up to it and at least said something, literally anything, saying anything about it would be better than ignoring it.
But here's the other thing. There might be things behind the scenes that we don't know about. Like, there might have been a settlement. There might have been this might have all been taken care of. It did not happen in the States. And so the laws around talking about it publicly where it happened might be different. Like, there are a lot of reasons why this might not be public. I think what's weird about it is that we just don't know. Yeah. And I think that leaves a lot of people in a position to speculate. There's a lot of people on Twitter. Well, there's a lot of people on Twitter right now. And not that Twitter matters, obviously. Like, Twitter is where people voice their most extreme opinions. But there are people on Twitter who, if you search Ezra Miller, which I did this morning, you either see people saying, I love him, I'm in love with him, I have a crush on him, he's the hot, person in my life. Or people saying, hey, remember that time Ezra Miller choked a girl? It's scrolling through and seeing those two things bounce back and forth like a ping pong ball is really a weird look at the situation. And I almost feel like Ezra Miller has, by being silent, not had to address it, and everyone's moved on. Like, it really feels like the major publications, it feels like a lot of people have just moved on from this whole situation. Yeah,
they're like, don't say anything, it'll blow over, and
and so, in a time of social media, and in a time where public apologies online are mostly mocked, or
they're definitely picked apart.
I feel like it might almost be it might almost behoove people in these situations to just never say anything, to just let it blow over, because the thing about the internet is the majority of the internet moves on. It is a short attention span space, and if you can just not make the situation any worse after the initial issue, you can kind of just disappear and people forget about it. It's really only in situations where people make bad apologies that it becomes worse and worse and worse and worse, and like the snowball starts to go. Yeah. And so, on Ezra Miller's part, there is something to be said for just shut up and like don't be very public for a year. Keep making the movies, let them come out. Don't do a lot of press. Don't talk about it, and eventually everybody moves on. And then there are a couple of people. When your movie comes out, there'll be people like us being like, "We never talked about this," but like, I don't know. It's just interesting. It is an interesting function of the internet that people are able to move on.
Yeah, it's I understand like the mentality of focus on yourself and don't make it about other people. Maybe he is genuinely sorry and has done a lot to rectify the situation and help himself. Maybe that's the case. But if we don't know that, then it's difficult to want to support that person, because he could very well think that what he did was okay and not care and just be like, I'm just gonna wait it out because like screw those guys. And right now we don't know, and that's why I feel uncomfortable about it. I don't like hate Ezra Miller. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I'm not like I hate that guy. I'm just kind of like, dude, you did something that was bad. It was very not okay. Yeah. And you haven't said anything about it, and that's the worst part of this whole situation.
I wouldn't mind so much, like, if he was a private person. My problem with this situation in particular is that Ezra Miller is playing a hero who people look up to. He's a role model. Yeah. And the silence around it lends credence to this idea that it's okay. Yeah. And especially when it comes to, like, men abusing women. Abusing anyone, but particularly around men abusing women or using their physicality to like physically dominate women. Mm-hmm. I think it is important for us as a society to really point that out and point out why that's wrong, mm-hmm. and to, in moments like this, have the abuser come out and be like, just acknowledge it so that we can say, hey, this is not the right way to behave.
Yeah.
And the Flash, this beacon of light and goodness in DC Comics, you know, Barry Allen saved the universe. Barry Allen is one of the best, brightest heroes in the in the DC. That he just is. Like, that is his role. He is the beating heart of the Justice League in a lot of comics.
Yeah.
For the person portraying that to come out and say this is the wrong thing to do is important, because there are people who look up to him. There are men who look up to him who are going to see this and be like, well, if he can get away with it, and like I don't know.
Yeah, it's well, it's murky waters right now, and I'm still surprised. I'm just very surprised that no one's talking about it.
I also think part of the reason why no one's talking about it is that there's no press tours right now. Like, there's no, like, public press. There's no, like, questions. He's not really having to answer questions. Yeah. I think that, like, if this had happened in a time where he would have to be in a public press junket with a bunch of reporters the next week, it would have been handled differently.
Yeah, because people would be asking. COVID kind of saved him a little bit, I guess, in that sense.
Yeah, it's just interesting. It's going to be interesting in the press lead up to Justice League if anything about it is mentioned. Because people online are still talking about it.
Yeah, and that does make me feel a little bit better that at least, like, I don't feel crazy. You know, I'm not like, okay, but what about, no, everyone else has moved on. You know, at least there's other people who are talking about it. It just...
Because the video is shocking. Like, when you see it, you're like, Jesus Christ.
The video is wild.
I've been belligerently drunk. Like, wildly belligerently drunk. And I've never touched a person like that, ever. Like, it's wild.
Yeah, it was... Yeah. That video, obviously, you can look it up if you would like. Watch at your own risk. But it's very uncomfortable to watch. Mm-hmm. And it makes me sad because I would love to support this character. You know, I
love the Flash.
Yeah, I like DC, and I just feel weird about seeing this movie when it comes out. I guess they're working on it, so it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and you know, I don't think it's ever too late for an apology. So I do hope that at some point.
Yeah, if he wants to, you know, even if he apologized now and was like, "This is what happened, and this is what I've been doing," and you know. Because nobody's perfect. None of us are amazing, perfect humans. We all have things to work on. But we just need to acknowledge that. And we need to be open about it so that people don't feel like they're in the wrong for not being perfect. Yeah. You know, you can always get better. You can always improve as a human being. So.
Should I move on?
Yeah.
In other Justice League news, in addition to getting the color version of the movie, Zack Snyder is also currently working on the black and white version of the film, which is actually the way that he wanted the film to come out was in black and white.
Really?
But Warner Brothers was like, no, Wonder Woman's costume and no colors. But Zack Snyder is calling his version the Justice is Grey edition. What do you think of Justice is Grey?
That's a terrible name. It could have been something clever, like, about, like, the gray area of, you know, what's right and what's wrong. That's
too long. I think Justice is Grey is fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I guess.
I kind of want to see this.
I would watch it.
I've liked black and white takes on color movies in the past.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely interesting. I do think it's kind of like, all right, let's get one version out first.
Fine. Yeah. Don't get too ahead of yourself. And it's funny because one of the things that we actually talked about based on the trailer for the Snyder Cut is that the colors actually look really cool. Incredible. Yeah. So I feel like watching a black and white version of it after that would be a little bit of a...
Here's the thing.
Letdown?
Here's the thing. Justice is Grey, to me, the letdown of this version, and I'm not taking this away from Zack Snyder. I totally think that, like, his vision for the movie is his vision. I'm not saying, like, I know better. Zack Snyder is 10 billion times more the filmmaker than I am. There are individual shots that he's made that are better than anything I will ever create with a camera. I'm aware of that. But there is an excitement in me around this movie that is there are many excitements, right? But one of the bigger ones for me is seeing Henry Cavill in the black Superman suit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the black Superman suit only exists in a color film.
Yeah.
In a black and white film, it's just a Superman suit.
Yeah.
And so for me, the excitement of seeing Henry Cavill whooping butt in the black Superman suit makes me kind of not want the black and white version, just because
that's fair.
When he shows up in that sleek, and we've seen shots of it, like when he shows up in that black suit, in those shots we've seen, it's cool. And I want more of that.
Yeah.
A black and white film would take that thing, and there's so many other things, other excitements, right? But it takes away that one thing.
Yeah.
That I'm really looking forward to. I've been looking forward to this black super. Henry Cavill is one of the most attractive men on the planet, and him in a sleek black Superman suit is my kink. So like I want that. And I haven't had it yet. So I'll watch the black and white version after, but the first time I see this movie, I want to see that like
Yeah. No, I get that. It definitely would lose effect if the whole thing was in black and white.
But other things might gain effect. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
there's certain
it's a trade-off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wonder if anyone has ever made a movie that slowly transitions to black and white through the movie. I
don't know about going to black and white. But Pleasantville does the opposite.
Yes, I have seen Pleasantville.
Where it goes from black and white to color over
But
time.
I mean like a slow, like a gradual, such a gradual transition that you don't notice until you're watching it in black and white. I feel like that would be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It'd be you would have to come up with a story. It would have to be related to the film. It couldn't just happen for no reason.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Richard 7 said the Logan and Mad Max black and white versions, they didn't do anything for you. Really, I love the Logan black and white version. That black and white version is very cool. The Mad Max one I didn't enjoy as much because there's some color work in that movie that I think is really brilliant, and there's a lot of work with fire in the Mad Max Fury Road movie where I didn't enjoy in the black and white version. Although a lot of the driving sequences were very cool in the black and white version, there was really great stuff in it. There's just the colors in Mad Max Fury Road are so stunning that it was.
They're also so purposeful.
Yeah.
You know.
But Logan in black and white, that I actually prefer Logan in black and white over color.
I haven't seen. I didn't know that these movies got released in black and white.
Yeah, the DVDs came with like a second version.
Cool.
And the Logan black and white version is, because that movie just feels like an old Western, even though it has sci-fi elements and futuristic elements. There are elements of the black and white Logan that are just so beautiful, and Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart. Their performances in that film are both amazing. Just remarkable.
Yeah.
Really, really, really like top-notch work. That's such an interesting movie, right? Because that movie wouldn't work if you didn't have them playing those roles for 19 years.
Yeah.
Like that is Logan is really Endgame-like for me in a lot of ways, in that there's a lead up to it and it is earned, and when you get to that conclusion, it's so satisfying.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Really, really cool stuff. In other news, we have some casting for the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Some more people jumping on board with this one. This time it is Bridgerton star.
Yes.
I don't know how to pronounce his name. The French brain in me from growing up in Canada thinks that it's Roger Jean Page or Paget. I think it's Roger Jean. The star of Bridgerton. Has been cast in the Dungeons and Dragons movie. He kind of got his big break in the Mortal Engines movie. Wasn't very good, unfortunately. I quite like the book, but
I haven't seen it.
The movie wasn't very good, but he was good in it. You know, he did his job. And
I watched Bridgerton, so
Bridgerton has obviously blown him up.
Yeah.
That show was watched by 82 million viewers in its first month. It was a huge hit for Netflix. And it looks like Paige is he's been booking a little bit left, right, and center here.
Yeah.
And his next big thing is apparently going to be Dungeons and Dragons.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So you've seen him in Bridgerton.
Yep.
Are you excited to see him in other things?
Yes. But only because his character in Bridgerton is kind of one note. He's that like broody duke, and you're like, oh, okay, I see what this is. You know, like I think that he has the capacity to do a lot more than what they gave him.
Do you think that is that he didn't bring a lot to it, or do you think that like they asked him to do a very specific thing and he did that very specific thing very well?
I think that is the case.
Because I feel that sometimes with actors in television shows, where I'm like, oh, you are a good actor, and I know that because they asked you to do something that is hard to pull off for 8 episodes, and I still enjoyed it after 8 episodes.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing. Like, Bridgerton didn't blow me away. Mm-hmm. It was fun to watch. But yeah, I don't think that they really gave his character a lot of different notes. It was kind of one thing. Like, he is the Duke who's like, I'm never gonna get married because he's got like a dark past, and that's his thing. For the show. But he seems like he is a very talented actor. He pulled it off well. It definitely seems more like they wanted this one note from him, and he did with it the best that he could. So this is interesting to me. He's also very attractive.
So he certainly has the jawline to be a movie star.
Yeah.
He's like a very attractive man.
He's a good looking dude. There's a lot of sex scenes in Bridgerton, and it's good.
He is the kind of symmetry in his face that makes me think that he might like either have had like crazy plastic surgery that doesn't exist in the regular public. Yeah, no, it would be too well done. No, but I'm saying, like, what if movie stars have access to plastic surgery the rest of us don't have access to?
Well, yeah.
See, he might have the secret plastic surgery that made his face, like, wildly symmetrical. He's very hot.
We're actually living in a version of Scott Westerfield's The Uglies.
Nice
but
pull.
We don't know it
yet.
Nice
pull. Well done.
I'm a nerd.
You are a nerd. I love you.
I love you too. I loved those books. I just have to throw that out there. That was like...
I know of them, but I've never read them myself.
You've never read them?
No, I never read the others.
Oh, they're fun. They're very interesting.
Frankenbean says, was he even a star before this? I mean, he's been in some things. He was in For the People on ABC. He was in Mortal Engines, as I said. Bridgerton is his biggest thing, but he's been in some big movies. Mm-hmm. He was cast in something else recently. I want to pull it up really quick because there was something else.
Yeah, he was in the news the other week, I thought.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what it
was.
When you guys start the Nerdy Sex Show, you can do reaction videos for sex scenes.
Oh
God. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That might get interesting.
Wait, what?
Well, if we started like reaction
videos
to like nerdy sex scenes. Here.
Oh my God, we should do a ranking video ranking all of the Game of Thrones sex scenes.
That's a good idea.
That would be funny.
Yeah, that's a video that we're gonna make. That's a video we're gonna make for sure.
That's very funny. He was cast in something else recently, and I can't remember what it was, but it was like a cool...
Yeah, we literally talked about it. I did not know there's a movie gonna come out about based on The Uglies.
I mean, I know that it's been in like development for forever.
Mm-hmm. Because that book came out a while ago.
I would love for there to be a movie. It's really just, will it happen? As it's the same with everything that's been in development for years. Like there are movies, there are books that I hear about, like they're always so close to getting produced. Mm-hmm. And it really takes someone having to put 20, 30, 50, 60 million dollars into it. Mm-hmm. And like that last hurdle can take forever. It can be really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there are people who want him to be the next James Bond. That's what we were talking about.
Oh, right. Yeah. Right.
Because, a lot of people are pushing for the next James Bond to be person of color.
Yeah.
Provided that Lashana Lynch doesn't take over the role, because she's going to be playing a version of 007 in the next Bond movie, right. No Time to Die, that's going to come out hopefully this year. And people are talking about he would be a good Bond because he's getting to that age where he would...
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
He has that vibe.
Yeah. Like I said, he has the jawline.
Yes, he does. Mm-hmm. No, he's a very attractive dude.
We have some animated news. Not that the news will be presented in an animated format because we don't have the money for that.
That would be cool, though.
It would be cool. But Valve and Netflix are making a Dota anime. Do you know what Dota is?
I have heard this. Isn't Dota a game?
So Dota is Defense of the Ancients. It was originally a modded community map in the arcade section of Warcraft 3, I want to say. And so it was a game. Back in the day, Warcraft and StarCraft had this thing where you could make games within the games. And so there was like some of the popular ones, like StarCraft had this game called Helm's Deep, where you would either be on the side of the good or the bad, and you would control armies and fight each other in StarCraft.
Yeah.
But they built Helm's Deep with StarCraft characters. It was very fun. So Dota was one of these arcade. It was on StarCraft. It was the arcade section, and it was essentially like using the units and like the tactics of Warcraft, but changing up the map and the style and whatnot to create this game called Defense of the Ancients.
Right.
This game became so popular that it spun off into its own game, and Dota got released as a separate game.
Right.
And then Dota went on to inspire an entire generation of games that we now call MOBAs. There's a MOBA for everything now. League of Legends is probably the most popular, but that is a Dota-style game. Pokemon is about to have one with Pokemon Unite, which is going to start its open access beta in Canada in March.
Oh,
so we're going to get access. I don't know about the rest of the world, but we are going to get that
that is fun.
in March.
I'm excited.
So Dota is sort of this weird thing where it started out as this like mod that the community made for Warcraft 3 and is now going to have an anime on Netflix.
Cool.
It'll be out on March 25th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
surprise, here's a movie.
For fans of Defense of the Ancients, Dragon's Blood will be releasing March 25th on Netflix. And it is Valve's first animated anime series based on a video game it made.
Cool.
Yeah, this is one of those stories that I love because this is the power of the nerddom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We get behind this like weird game that somebody made inside of another person's game, and it has had this life and become its own thing.
Yeah.
MOBAs have infinitely surpassed RTS games in terms of popularity worldwide. Like Dota literally changed the popularity of the kinds of games that people play online with each other.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be an anime series, and I played a lot of Dota back in the day. And now I'm excited to see this anime series. This is really fun.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's just one of those like twisty-turny, like how did we get here kind of things.
Well, and I had no idea. I knew that Dota was a game. And I knew that like a lot of people loved it. I had no idea how it started.
Yeah.
So this is really cool.
Yeah, it's just, I'm into this. I think it's really fun for I like tie-ins to video games that are like not movie adaptations. Yeah. Movie adaptations of video games can be tough. But something like this that doesn't feel the need to be as we have to recreate the story of the video game. Yeah. There's not really a story to Dota, so they can kind of make this how they want.
Yeah, which is really cool.
And
is there going to be a trailer?
Yeah, there will be. There's a date announcement right now. Cool. But we'll probably do a trailer reaction when the full trailer comes out. Yeah. Probably in early March.
Yeah, that's dope.
But I'm excited. I'm excited for this Dota anime.
Yeah.
In other animated news, we have heard some casting for the animated prequel to the Gremlins movies.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, they're making an animated prequel to the Gremlins movie called Secrets of the Mogwai. And we found this out because of some casting. Ming-Na Wen. Nice. The queen of all queens, princess of all princesses, the only woman to be a Disney princess, a Star Wars, a Disney princess, a Marvel superhero, and a Star Wars character. She holds the Disney trifecta in a way that no one else probably ever will. Yeah. She is going to be in Secrets of the Mogwai with Riz Ifan. And that anime movie looks like it's going to be coming out in 2022.
Oh, cool. So pretty soon, actually.
Are you a Gremlins fan?
I've never seen it.
You've never seen Gremlins? Which means you've never seen Gremlins 2. Oh my god, Gremlins 2 is so good.
Yeah, sorry.
You have to see Gremlins.
I guess we will have to.
It's not a horror movie.
Okay.
It's like got like horror elements in that, but it's like a horror movie for kids.
Perfect. Okay.
Oh my god, it is such a good franchise. It's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love Gremlins. Gremlins is so good. And Gremlins 2 is insane, is more insane, but is the better movie. Ariel, your mother made you a Gizmo costume. Apparently you dressed as Gizmo at one point. The cutest of the Mogwai.
Yeah.
Don't feed them after midnight. Don't do it. Don't give them water.
Oh no, my mom made it for my aunt.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I was like,
okay. I was like, how did you dress as Gizmo and not know what the Gremlins are?
Maybe if I was like 2, you know.
Do you know what the story of Gremlins?
Nope.
Okay, so there's the Mogwai, which are these cute little Furby-looking things.
Which you have on your shirt.
This one?
No, but your Gremlin shirt.
Yes, I have a Gremlin shirt.
Yeah.
No, that's the Gremlin.
Oh.
So the Mogwai is first. So a Mogwai is this cute little creature, and if you feed it after midnight, the man who sells the Mogwai to the dad is like, don't feed it after midnight, and the son's like, okay, I won't, and then he feeds it after midnight, and it turns into a gremlin.
Okay.
And then the gremlins are bad, but they're also kind of hilarious. It's also like
okay.
It's also a commentary on like the Cold War in a weird way, or at least it tries to be.
Okay.
Yeah, and the gremlins like go around town destroying technology, and then people complain that the Russians made bad technology. There's a lot going on in that film, but it's really, really great. It's quite fun. And Gremlins 2 gets even crazier, but God, it's so I love Gremlins so much.
All right, well now we have
I have that shirt, obviously. Yeah, we need to watch it. But Secrets of the Mogwai is coming, starring Ming-Na Wen, who is just one of the best.
That'll be fun.
Ming-Na Wen, I love you. I don't, like, I'm not, like, in love with you because my wife is right here. But if you ever wanted to, like, be a guest on the show, like,
yeah, just call us up.
I would,
you know.
it would be a softball interview. I would be really nice. If you want to just call on, I'll just compliment you for, like, an hour. Like, yeah, you're great. Mulan's really cool.
Oh, my goodness.
Also, Cavalry's dope. Y'all, we're going to end on some good news.
Oh boy.
Some good news. Kit Harington and Rose Leslie have welcomed their baby boy into the world.
Yay!
They are parents. I feel bad for that child because
it's a lot to live up to.
That boy has a clueless father. But
oh god, it's fine. Rose Leslie makes up for it.
Truly she does. And also, with the genes that child is infused with, it's going to be very pale but very attractive.
Yeah.
That baby has the potential to be more pale than you.
Potential.
I mean, like, Kit Harington and Rose Leslie are both very pale humans.
That's true.
So, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. It's unlikely. There's not many people out there who are paler than I am. But
no, there's truly not. But yeah, we don't talk a lot about gossip and stuff on here, but this is good news. I think that, like,
nice.
A happy couple having a child and being happy is the kind of thing that we need more of in 2021. And so I wanted to tell the story because it makes me happy, and I hope they're happy. I want the best for them. I love them both so much.
Yeah, they're both just lovely.
And you know what, Kit Harington, I have forgiven you for Pompeii. It's okay. I've moved on.
I'm proud of you.
I spent money to go see that movie in theaters because of your abs, and your abs did not let me down, but the rest of the movie did. Not gonna lie.
Well, now he's making up for it,
He's making up for it. And that's the news. That's the nerd news.
Oh, fun. That was so wholesome.
A wholesome end to a show that started with us having to talk about some not so wholesome things.
Yeah, we do the full spectrum over here at the Nerd
We do it all.
Yep.
Yeah. For 8 more days. Y'all, if you are a daily watcher of the morning show, I hate to remind you, but next Friday is our 100th episode. It's also the end of our daily show. Mm-hmm. We'll be going to once a week after that. Mm-hmm. But we're still going to be here. We're always here at twitch.tv/nerdynightly.
Always online.
Or twitch.tv/clarus. The handles are above us. You can follow us at those social medias. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like the video, comment in the comments down below. If you don't like this video, please dislike it. That actually does help us in the algorithm as well. So do either. We don't really care, to be honest.
True.
Yeah, because if you're not watching live, we don't really care about you or your existence on this planet.
That's not true. Some of our viewers can't make it, and then they watch it afterwards.
They know I'm kidding.
They better.
They better. If you have watched any amount of the Nerdy Nightly and you think I'm a person who says serious things,
you know what?
Occasionally I do.
Fair.
That's fair.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Come back today at 1 o'clock Eastern for some Pokemon Emerald.
Pokemon.
Over at twitch.tv/ClarsCars. And come check out twitch.tv/Azurbi tonight. I'm going to be playing Ultimate Werewolf over there. We're going to have a good time.
Having a good time. It's going to be great.
Or a werewolf might eat me.
A good time.
Wow. As always, y'all.
Love you.
My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
Do something nerdy tonight.
Bye.
Where's the mouse? Oh, there it is.